Okay, great. I'll go ahead and share my screen. I wanted to start off my piece of this with a high-level diagram, kind of my personal conceptualization of Control Center and how it interacts with Smartsheet and all those different assets or templates that Molly just mentioned. I have Control Center here as kind of the center of this diagram, and I think that's pretty appropriate because I look at Control Center simply as a mechanism, right? As Molly mentioned, it automates a lot of that manual effort you'd be going through if you're saving as new and creating these projects manually, but it does a whole lot more than that. This is really something that you're going to grow into with your Smartsheet process and your environment. It's not something that we see our clients and our organizations diving right into. Smartsheet will tell you the threshold is about a dozen projects. If you have more than a dozen projects, you should consider using Control Center. Again, that is highly dependent on the complexity of those projects, how many sheets, reports, dashboards each of those projects have, how many things you're renaming, how many cell links you're making. But the value that Control Center offers us is the ability to automate that process, remove any potential manual error, and just simplify our lives and give us that room to grow and increase the volume of our projects. Excuse me.
One of the big things, Keefer, right, is also, do you have a standard project toolkit, right? So do you have most of the project components that you need are the same across projects? That's a big driver, right? We definitely have organizations that have a wide variety of different types of projects that maybe don't immediately go to Control Center. So it really depends on the standardization. We call it maturity of your PPM and your PMO. So those are some of the questions that we like to ask clients that are asking, like, hey, does it make sense for us to go to Control Center? If you are very early in your PPM methodology and you don't have those processes down and you're really still working on structuring kind of what your PPM data looks like, going to a Control Center can definitely kind of slow down some of that, initial flexibility as you figure it out. At the same time, if you already have that process really well in place, Control Center can be a major superpower for you as you do to scale operations. So definitely something that we like to talk about, right, from a consulting side of things versus immediately diving in. But for today, we are assuming that you have Control Center, and I will pass it back off to Keefer.
Yeah, all great stuff there, Molly. I think it is important to not rush this step into Control Center because with all the value that it brings to you and your organization, there's a cost, and that cost is you're tying yourself to these templates that are being produced time and time again. And yes, Control Center has the ability to make edits to those templates, but like everything, there is limitations. So what we don't like to see is somebody a client to get Control Center, produce all these projects, and then realize, hey, they want to change this and they can't do it now, and they have all these projects, and it just becomes kind of a nightmare.